Warning, the following video has flashing lights and also includes content that may be deemed inappropriate for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Who dares awaken me from my slumber? OCR, Ohio, cryptid researcher, aka Richard Mccandlish, has once again found his way through the darkness and into the fox den as we sit around the late night fire. Absolutely delicious. I do appreciate you bringing me nutrients and something to feast on. I was so hungry. And now that Richard has released me from my shackles, it is once again time to take a walk into the madness known as the Dogman.
Stood up. I said, oh my god, it's a werewolf. And everybody in the car freaked out.
My creatures of the night, yes, once again you are tuning in to Midnight Lycanthropy here on LordeStarfox Radio. Yes, of course, we do have Rich. You should recognize that name, OCR, Mr. Mccandlish. Yes, he's been here before with some amazing information that is occurring down in Ohio. He is already sitting around the late night fire as we again burn the timber into the early hours of the morning. How you doing tonight, Rich? And what have you been up to, man?
Hey, thanks for the coffee cups that came in. We love them.
Yes, those are absolutely epic. And I do appreciate you and Diana grabbing some of those, sharing them around. That's awesome. Thanks again. That is probably the best way anyone can support myself or yourself or any sort of small podcasters and such, is just grab some of that merch for sure. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Like I said, if everybody would, pitch in and help everybody around, it helps. It's like a pat on the back, actually, that you don't get out in the field. And, but yeah, I wanted to talk about, it was a few years back, not long after the big storm, winter storm, and a lot of things were happening still out there at the cabin. And believe me, I have asked several people. I said, I need somebody to come out here to witness some of this stuff. You got to come out here. And which, of course, some of them said, you mean out there at your cabin, Richard, in Hawking? I said, yeah. And they said, oh, no, I'm not going out there. I couldn't get anybody to come out except for my wife. She finally did come out. She came down one evening, and I was in the sunroom, and we had the wood burner going. I was sitting there, and next thing you know, my wife says, oh, I'm just getting tired. I'm going to go on to bed. I said, okay. So she goes back into the camper part to the other side. And it's like our cabin is like a house, like built over a camper type. And so I'm out in the other room and into two rooms and to the sunroom. And I'm sitting there, and I got our sliding glass door open, and I'm sitting there in the chair, got my feet out, outside the glass on the top step. And I'm just sitting there at an angle looking outside, listening. And there's a bright moon out that night, and I had the blinds down on one side, and I had the blinds up on the other. And as I was sitting there, I almost fell asleep a little after 2 in the morning, and I just woke up for some reason, and I was just sitting there, like I said, in the dark. About that time, this this shadow come up behind my head. Uh, it cast across, my back onto the blinds, and next thing you know, and I immediately had my phone right there, so I flipped my phone open, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm trying to be as calm as I can, and I'm snapping these pictures. And as this thing is walking behind me, with his shadow going toward the front of our cabin. And it must have made a right. It went out around, but and the whole time I'm thinking, man, my wife is in the bed in the back room. And what was strange about it is I, as big as this thing was, I did not hear it, Kenny. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. And this thing has to walk up gravel, and because our driveway's in a slope, and I didn't hear it. And I'm sitting there in pitch dark with the door wide open, my feet's out the door. It could just lean right over the railing and grab my feet, and it didn't. And from what I've showed the pictures to some credible people, um, they're saying it's some kind of they call it a horse neck dog man, and long snout and everything. I didn't see it. I saw. I wasn't even going to turn around. For one, I was just petrified in the chair. And the thing is that whatever it was that left that shadow walking behind me was totally different than that dog critter thing that came to our front door at our cabin. I don't I don't have any answers for what these critters are or what they're doing. I just have no I have no answers on that. And um, and I know I sent you pictures of that one big round track, canine like track, and that's the track of that critter, is what they call it, horse neck thing. And there's another. I know that this doesn't have to deal with the Dogman thing. I've had some other incidents and things that's happened out there as well, that I've documented, and I've got pictures and audio and video and stuff. But there was, I know this is going to be hard to believe, but I got the pictures, and but it was another incident out there at our cabin. I was sitting, the electric went out and everything, and I'm sitting there in my recliner by the wood burner, um, just listening, seeing what's going on, just like a regular night. And I was up again late. It was probably again, well, it was after 12 or so, going on 1. I was sitting in the chairs again. All of a sudden, my front door starts to open up. I start to freak out right there, right off the bat. I'm like, whoa. I grabbed my 45, and what the thing was, something unlocked the top bolt and the bottom latch. They had to, because I always lock the door, always. Since we purchased that place many, many years ago. Every time I walk in the door, it's locked. And the thing about it is the as the door is opening up, there's this light. I can't explain what kind of light it was. I mean, it's just a pure, just uh, this white. It's just most beautiful color. But it when the door was coming open, the light went clear to the right along the wall, and it cut off my. I couldn't see my deer mount on the corner of the wall. And then as the door's starting to open up more, the light goes right back to the door. And I'm freaking out on this, and my door only got about maybe 3/4 of the way open, and I took my phone again and I snapped a picture, and then that was it. My phone didn't do anything. I just took it and went black. And I thought, well, maybe I got it. I didn't. But all I could see was just the white light that stayed at the door frame. And if the door is usually open in the daytime, first thing you can see out my door is the back end of our neighbor's camper next to us. But you couldn't see through the light. And when you zoom up in the picture, you can see what time it is. It's 1:30 a.m. in the morning. The light that's staying at the door, you can see it from the inside picture. That light should have lit the living room up like daylight, for one, and two, the window to the right of the door, there is no light coming through it at all. And three, the left of the door is a window opening that you can see through to see the camper window through the camper. There's no light coming through it either. And the next thing is when I had it sent away to I guess check the filtering on it or check the picture out. All I had was a white, and it took me a long time to charge the phone. But when I looked at the picture on it, all I saw was just a white thing. But when I sent it away, like I said, it came back, and there's these three things standing outside on the other side of that white, whatever it is. I mean, this is weird. I know it's going to be hard to believe, but the height of them was the head was at the top of the door, and their feet was about down to where the doorknob is, up in the air, not on the ground up. These things were from the doorknob up, and there was three of them. One of them on the right is looking across the doorway like somebody's standing on the other side of the door over there, like he's looking at them. It's like some evil looking thing. And there's like a kind of like a dog faced person in the middle looking at straight in, like at me sitting in the chair. But I didn't know this. I didn't know what was behind the light. All I said was, okay, whatever, this is a joke. Whoever comes to the light, I'm going to fill you up. It's a second, not even a second. Maybe of a second. It's just like the light was gone. Nothing's outside. Nothing's anywhere. It's just pitch. Everything's just pitch black. You can't even see your hand in front of your face. Because out there, it's you're in the natural force, and when the electric's out there, you can't see your hand in front of your face. Inside, outside, you open the door, there's no change, and just the eeriest quiet that there is. But it looks like the one thing in the middle is like holding some kind of a staff of some kind or whatever it looks like. I don't know. Like I said, that stuff, that's not in my field. Well, what is in my field is, like I said, the Bigfoot, and I've captured UFO craft above the lakes, and they're pretty unique to see as well. And again, that's not my field. I don't even know what to do with that stuff. But you can see it clear as a bell. I've got one story on another story on like I said, it's not Dogman. It's I was hoping to capture a Bigfoot because that's what I do, and I sent you a picture of him, of a Bigfoot, but I also captured something else, and I was called to go on an investigation in Mockleshola, Ohio, it's still in Perry County, And I said, okay, I'll go check it out. And it was this old man that owned this farm. And this gentleman, he's probably in his 80s. So, and little wire little feller. He came out. And he said, so you the feller they sent? I said, well, yeah. I said, so can you tell me what's going on? And he said, yeah, come on in the house. I could show you out here, but I'll show you in the house. And I said, okay. And we got in there, and he ran right into the kitchen window. Look out there to the right. He says, you see that? I said, yeah. What about it? He said, well, that thing, whatever it was, some man beast or whatever he said, it was taller than my corn crib when it walked by. He said, I didn't go out the house. He said, he goes, I didn't know who to call. He said, but he contacted these one people and ended up getting down to me. So I went on the investigation, and I told him, he said, I said, well, let's go take a walk down there and take a look, see what you got. And we went down there, and sure enough, you could see something big was going through. It didn't leave a footprint, but you could see something heavy went through there. And I was like, yeah, I said, if it was a Bigfoot, I said, you really ain't got really much to worry about. And he said, what do you mean? He said, I saw this thing. I said, yeah, you probably did. I said, 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to see him again. He's probably just walking through. I said, because I said, you don't have any farm animals here. He said, no. He said, I got rid of them a few years back. And I said, well, I said, he's just probably just walking through. Yeah, he probably looked at the corn crib for some snacks or something, whatever, and went down to the barn and slept in it. And he said, are you sure? And I said, well, as far as I know, doing this for 50 years, I said, on Bigfoot, I said, yeah. And then we started walking back up toward the house, and this other truck pulls in. And this other old gentleman got out, and he came over and he kind of laughed. He held over to his buddy and he said, hey, did you tell him about your monster story? And he said, well, why don't you tell him about yours? The other old man said, well, he said, oh, I didn't see it. He said, but I got something up there on my property about, a couple miles or so up the road at my farm. He said, it comes around every once in a while. He said, I don't know what it is. He said, this thing bellers out. It sounds like an old siren. He said, I went, an old siren, huh? He said, yeah, something like that. He said, weird. And he says, way out there on my property, out there back with the ponds. And I go, okay. And I said, well, can I get out there and investigate that? And he said, sure. And so I got up there, way down there at the bottom. You could see the farmhouse way down there, at the bottom of the valley, way out down there. And so I did a scout around to there, and there's to look to a place where I'm going to set up to capture something, and in my ghillie, and I'm looking at the terrain, and I noticed there's a walkway on the side of the hill there. It's like it's about 4 foot, 5 foot wide, little ledger that goes on the side of the hill all the way down. But where I was going to be laying at my ghillie, I thought, okay, well, this seems like a good spot, and I went and measured it at the top of it to down to the path on the side of the hill was 8 feet tall. Okay, so I went back 10 feet from the drop off, and with this log, and with this in this thicket, and I said, well, it's about the best spot there is, and but at the time it was right there between January and February, cold. I was there a day and a half, waiting, freezing rain. Next thing you know, I heard that old hound dog. I thought, oh, what's that? I said, man, that old dog picked up on something. Something must be coming or something around. And he only did it once, and then he did it again, but it wasn't as loud. And then, I'd say about 10 minutes later, I could hear something coming. I thought, oh man, could it be? And then surely I knew I heard something coming now, and it was loud enough, and I know this thing was walking, and you could hear it coming. And I was like, oh man, this is it. This is going to be awesome. He's going to walk right past me. He's got to walk right past me because it's on that ledger. And I was like straining my eyes, looking to the right, uh, not trying to move to try to see this thing come up on around the bend there. And when I first caught a glimpse of this, we were like, lose a breath. I couldn't believe what I was looking at because all the study that I've ever did, like in the Bigfoot, you don't hear anything about this critter very much at all. But he's in historical ledger, and he dates back clear to the 1800s, where this thing is jumped off a mount or hillsides onto the last part of a wagon train, and knocked people off of it and was attacking them. And they said that this thing was a multicolored, haired man beast. And they said no, it was not. They must have seen Bigfoot at the time because they said no, this thing was not a Bigfoot. It's like a Bigfoot, but not a Bigfoot. If it makes any sense. And but here, 10 feet in front of me, on an 8-foot drop off ledger, here this thing comes. I was just losing it. And there it is. The freakiest thing about it, it stops right in front of. I got the camera rolling right 10 feet in front of me, and I'm trying everything that I can do, not let it see me. Like I said, this thing is a known attacking man, and there I am 10 feet in front of this thing, and it don't even know I'm there. It's looking down there toward that farmhouse where that old hound dog barreled. And this thing stood there for going over 3 hours. It burned up my whole entire tape on my camera on live video, 10 feet in front of me. And I estimated its height. It's got to be 11 or 12 footer because I'm laying down and I'm on top this little knoll with an 8-foot drop off. And I know 4 foot of him or better is sticking up from the top. And I kept hearing this. It sounded like air sound. And I was like, what is that sound? And what's he doing? And then when I saw his lip move, this thing is sucking air through his teeth. That's what that sound was. He was sucking, like when you breathe, he was sucking the air through his teeth like he was tasting the air or something. I don't know. But I'm looking right at the side of his face. And his eyes set back so far I could not see the color of his eye. Halfway down his nose, it tapered off into his cheekbone. And the tip of his nose kind of stuck up just a little bit, tipped up a little bit, and but it was a large mouth, and his hair, like I said, his hair was magnificent. I've never seen the hair on a critter like that in my entire life. Being in the military, I've been on 3 spots on this globe, and I've seen just about every critter there is, and not no hair that looks like that thing. He had all the colors of like the fall leaves and the dark bark, sticks, twigs, grass color, dark greens, yellow, green, just yellows, reds, just immaculate. And about what I saw when the cloud went away, because this is 7:30 in the morning when he came through. Right on the front of the tape, you can see the time, 7:30 a.m., freezing rain, right in January. There this thing is. I've never seen hair like that on anything. And this thing didn't growl. It didn't do anything else. All it did was sit there. Every once in a while, it would suck air through its teeth, and it was like a stone statue. Unbelievable. I was just totally just blown away by, well, fear one, because I don't know what it's going to do if it does see me, and if I got the drop on him, I don't know. But yeah, I've never seen anything like it. But on the end of his hair, about an inch, almost an inch at the end of his hair was like translucent. You could see through the end of it because I saw it when the wind blew a little bit. I could see when his hair moved. I could see the sticks through his hair at the tips. I could see the sticks move through there, and I was just in awe seeing this. And like I said, I got it captured on live video. And like right now, we're going to be teaming up and getting ready to go and hit the creeks uh, coming up because right now we're dealing with the flooding. These creeks going up and down, up and down, up and down. But and there's other pictures that I'll be sending um, as well. Like I said, I'm not. That's the ET is not my field, but I can explain to the stories of how I captured them to just about everything I captured. Because, like I said, I've been doing this for 50 years. It isn't something like I went out and captured, last week or last year or something. No, this is um, this is a lifetime of investigation being out there. And like I said, that's the only way you're going to capture anything is your most aggressive, I would say, most aggressive way to get what you're looking for is go out alone. You'll get a better reaction on something coming up on you or whatever that you might be looking for. I've got another track too. I caught it. I got it with Kane Michaels, which is another top researcher here in Hawking County. Me and him become friends. I brought him to this place. I wanted him to basically I wanted him to watch my back and and help me look for this certain type of track. And and we were down in the pit, what I call the pit area, and he brought his partner Eric with him as well. Eric's a nice man too, and he's also a good tracker and investigator as well. He was with Kane, and like I said, we went down in the pit, and then Eric, we split up. I went one way, and Kane was walking at the middle, and Kane explained to Eric what I was kind of looking for, and then it wasn't long. Eric called out and said, "Hey, is this what you're looking for?" I said, "Yeah, it kind of looks like it." Yeah. I said, at the time, Kane looked at me and he said, "I wouldn't even have poured that. I don't even know what that is. There's like three divots in the mud there." And I said, "What? You'll see here in a minute." And I poured the casting in it, and I told Kane, I said, "There, you find that one over there, pour it." And so next thing you know, when I pulled that out, and Kane saw what I pull out of that mud, uh, Kane wasn't ready for that. Basically, he was like, "Whoa, what? Okay, what is that?" I mean, you're talking three big claws that has like a foot along with it. But I didn't get the foot because it stepped off a rock, and the front part went into the mud part. And um, but Jody Cook from NADP, he says he supposedly has the whole thing with the three claws and the foot. I got the three claw pour, and so did Kane. But at the time, when Kane, like I said, when he first saw that, when I pulled it out, he starts looking up around the area, and I said, like I said, man, stay sharp because this thing just went through here. Whatever it is, it's here, and you can plainly tell it's not no fruit, nut, and berry eater. This thing is a pure seed eater, and we went through everything of any type of a clawed critter that has claws that big. So far, we're unable to get a match on anything or identify it in any way, and that's one of the other tracks like that three-toed one with the human foot and the human foot with the four claws. Those are the ones that I like focusing on when I take out into the public, when I do the fairs, and or not the fairs, but the festivals, Bigfoot conventions and stuff like that. I'm hopingly that one person out of that crowd is going to come up and somebody's going to recognize and tell me what these three critter things are. Well, not the human foot with the four claws, but the that three-clawed thing and that three-toed like toe thing critter with a human foot. I don't know what it is. But what's weird is what I don't understand is the three-claw track that I have and that three-toed human foot thing. There is somebody in Texas and Georgia, I believe in down in near Florida, and there's another state I believe that these individuals have the exact same two castings as I do. Now, what is these things, and how did they get the exact two castings as me? Because I know it can't be the same two critters going from here to Texas to Florida to Georgia or to Alabama or whatever the other states are. No, how many of these things that are out there? That's another question that I also have on those tracks too as well. But I'm waiting on the public. Hopefully that'll come up and tell me exactly that what this thing looks like, because it's in our backwoods. It's here in the national forest here. I'm ready to retire out of this field. I'm getting ready to hand over the torch to my field researcher, investigator Larry Ramsey, and Dave Levering will be with him as well. But like I said, and that'll probably be a little while from now when I hand the torch. But I'm going to still be out there doing and try to collect as much information as I can for the people who are asking these questions about these things. But if real researchers don't get together, there's still going to remain questions. And like I said, on our Facebook that we just fired up now, we don't put out any uh, fake AI stuff on our site. It's real documentation, real research, and my team and me. Nobody is going to make anything bigger than what it is. Blow it way out of proportions. No, what we get out in the field is what we're going to present to the public, and real research, not no mockumentary type of thing, and that's what I'm steered away from, and that's why we're starting a new site, and so, and hopefully I'll be able to get more stuff out there. Like I said, you can only get it when they're out there, and it ain't like you're going to go out and catch something next week or next month or possibly maybe even next year. It took me over a year and a half to find the last track, and I tell people, even to a certain clientele out there, that they don't listen, but the wood talk, that I call it, that I've named it that, everybody calls it wood structures of this, I call it wood talk. It's not out there as simply as people think it is. It's very rare to find. It's like I tell, it's the language of directional for the Bigfoot, and some people go, oh well, that's a bunch of blah, and I go, really? I said I was taught in learning that because the Indians used to call a certain tribe of Bigfoot, they called them stick people because they did communication markings and directionals with sticks. Um, and then learning the signs, learning the directionals, learning what the signs are. But some people out there automatically think they automatically see wood structure, this, that, and the other, and they automatically think Bigfoot or the Dogman did it. No, it's rare to find, and a lot of people out there are putting up these stick structures. A lot of people like to think this is a joke and fun out there, like such as at Salt Fork and Beaver Creek. They go out and they make fake structures and lean up big X's, and they think that Bigfoot's there. They don't know the difference between what a real Bigfoot marking sign is and what isn't. And you got to look at the territories too. They're heavily commercialized. You got to go where, you know, you got to go out off the trail and deep. You know, like I said, it's just I don't want to sound like I know it all, because I don't know it all. I'm not a professional and I'm not an expert. I've been doing this for 50 years, and I let people see my research and my evidence, and I let them decide. Here, you decide. Then you tell me what made this track, or you tell me what this critter is. That's all I'm doing, and I'm not into this for money. I do everything out of my pocket. When my guys go out with me, I pay for everything, the food, the gas, whatever, because it's my hobby. And I let them come into my space and my hobby. So I take care of my guys that's taking care of me out, watching my back in the field. And hopefully one day I might get you out there in the field with us, Kenny.
That is awesome. Absolutely brilliant stuff right there. I love what you're doing, my friend. And yes, also here in the future, I would like to come down and check out your area for you, my friend, with some of my team. Like I said, I'm just a journalist, but I'll definitely be able to get some of my scientists down in that area that would be interested for sure. Yet, as we are starting to tie this up for the evening, is there anything else tonight that you would like to touch base on, or any sort of questions? If not, make sure to give yourself a shout out and let everybody know where they can get a hold of you if they would like to talk to you.
Yeah, like I said, we had a little hiccup on a disagreement on some things between me and another individual. And like I said, I will not put out any fake or lies. That's not me. It's never been me. And everybody that knows me knows that you come down here. I have nothing to hide. I'm not lying. You come and see what I got. I'm not no big tall tailor. This is real research. This is, and I take this hobby that I've done all my life that's cost me so dearly. I take it very serious, because it was serious when I saw this thing. And but we got some great things coming up. Um, some festivals coming up, and then we are working on one thing. We might be, like you were saying, how people can get in touch with us. We are Ohio Cryptid Researcher without the S. It's Ohio Cryptid Researcher on Facebook, and you can click onto there. You have to answer 3 questions, but we're not advertising on that site, and we're not putting any BS on that site either. And like I said, I'd like to build up another what they call a members list, because I'm the type that like to do stuff with our members, instead of saying, hit the like and subscribe button, but we don't do anything for you. Well, they're doing something for me. They're liking my stuff, so I like to do something back for my members, and like take them out on a overnight canoe trip looking for Bigfoot or whatever. Take them in the areas where I hunt. I have nothing to hide. Because if he's there, he's there, and if Bigfoot wants your attention, he'll get it. And like I said, I can't tell you when he's there or he's not there. I can take you to the areas where he's supposed to be, where I've got all my research, and who knows, we just run into it, or anything could happen out there in the field. like I said, if they want your attention, they'll get it. And well, yeah, like I said, the big things are coming. We might keep your fingers crossed. We might be the Bigfoot team that's going to bring the Bigfoot Festival to Nelsonville, Ohio. We're going to put Nelsonville back up on the map because they used to have the Lumberjack Festival in Nelsonville. And since they're not having the Bigfoot Festival this year in Hocking County, they might not have it this year at Nelsonville, but I can guarantee it probably they're going to have it next year. And we're the ones that's going to make that happen for them. So I'm glad we got that for them. That's a good achievement, to bring something, revenue to the town since they put that bypass in. I don't know if it hurt the town that bad or not, but yeah, just helping out the neighboring counties, bringing some revenue to them and some fun and hobbies, and that's all I'm into it for, and just real research and having reading real people and real experiences.
Boom. Beautiful stuff right there. You heard that to the audience. We'll have the link up for Richard's page you can check out in the good old description down below, and we will be having him back sooner than later. Yet, for the moment, we do need to allow OCR, Mr. Mccandlish, to get back to other things he needs to attend to. He is quite a busy individual. Thanks for hanging out tonight with us, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, Kenny.
Ooh, you legends, you, my creatures of the night. I adore every single one of you. And thank you for hanging out tonight. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the truth to the algorithm. And remember, there are things that go bump in the night.